Hello, everyone. My name is David Ephrati, and today I am very glad to share some insights derived from my bachelor thesis that I wrote in collaboration with Professor Sabrina Bershani. My topic revolved around the study of Pinterest's visual search engine and its visual search capabilities, which I then compared to two other companies. I'm going to be sharing the results with you as well as doing my best to enlighten you a bit on the topic of visual search itself. So our agenda goes as follows. We're going to first of all start with uh, some basic insight on visual search, what it actually is, how it functions, what's the underlying technology. And then we will dive in straight to the studies of Pinterest, Kuznets, and Logograb, which are our three companies of choice. We will then bring out some concluding statements where we will compare and contrast these companies. So let's start with visual search. What is it? Visual search basically is the principle of is the concept that a computer will be able to process images by receiving an input, a pictorial input, and analyzing the components of the image. Therefore, the shapes, the color, recognize any patterns, and this will be cross-referenced to a database where visually similar results will objectively be generated. The underlying technology behind that is called computer vision. This is a form of artificial intelligence where we train a computer to recognize or develop a sense of sight, which is pretty much human-like at an increasing rate in order to generate more and more precise results. And this is, of course, in contrast to using words or voice search as inputs. We're talking about visual search, and the visual search means using visual elements as search inputs for inquiries. Now, due to the efficiency of visual elements in marketing campaigns, this sort of search process is very, very lucrative for any commercial industry which is present online, and we will see that in more detail with the startups. So there are two types of visual search. We have the basic comparing of metadata keywords where you're basically inputting words and searching for images that have a link or a hyperlink attached to the image. So examples of that are Google search, Yahoo image search, very typical. But today we're focused on content-based image retrieval, which mentioned before is the capacity of using computer vision to recognize and process different shapes, colors, and textures in order to generate visually similar results. Examples of such visual search engines are Pinterest, Kuznets, and Logograb. So let's dive into Pinterest. Pinterest is a virtual pinboard photo sharing site. It's basically a platform where consumers or simple ideators, I'm saying ideators because this is how Pinterest views the process of browsing on their platform. It's about finding ideas and sharing ideas and posting them on some sort of virtual pinboard where all of your followers can see. This company launched in 2010 by co-founders Ben Silverman, Evan Sharp, and Paul Siem, and has sustained incredible growth. The company has nowadays over 200 million active monthly users and is currently valued at 12.3 billion US dollars. A statistical note is that 80% of users are female, and the statistic is probably over that actually. What is interesting is to talk about this unique competitive advantage that Pinterest has. Advertisers on the internet nowadays are increasingly received with hostility. They're present everywhere. You can't watch a YouTube video anymore without falling on an ad, having to wait 30 seconds. This is 30 seconds they take from your life. However, on Pinterest, people are searching for ideas. People are searching for sometimes, sure, more artistic ideas, more utilitarian ideas. However, there are a lot of potential consumers on Pinterest. When people are searching for ideas, this is like when people are walking in a shop with no particular purchase interest, but finding something will trigger it. So yes, we are dealing more on the mechanism of impulse purchases. But on Pinterest, the thing is, since we have this attitude, the meeting on this platform between potential consumers, which I call ideating browsers, because this is what Pinterest users do, and advertisers, the browsers, the actual Pinterest user, welcomes ads because this is what he's in the mood for when he's on Pinterest. So the company, however, uses visual search in a very developed way. They're probably today the leaders in the field, with their most recent and innovative concept called Pinterest Lens, which is basically live visual search, where you'd be, as for example, walking down the streets and you'd like someone's coat, you'd snap a picture of their coat and you'd be able to use that picture as input search to the Pinterest database, which would then generate visually similar results. As seen on the image, you can see exactly the different components of and the structure of the feature. We've also got other use cases on Pinterest which use visual search. For example, we have this feature called similar looks, where someone would be browsing. So we're sort of away from the image input here. We're more like on image recognition from the computer, where the computer would detect from a picture visually similar results and insert automatically hyperlinks inside these on typical objects. And here we have the example of the skirts, which we have the red dot on the skirts. You can click on it and you'd find commercial opportunities to acquire this. And a more recent feature is also Pinterest Flashlight, which helps Pinterest users actually crop elements from a picture and use that as a search input. So we have this picture that has already been processed by Pinterest in a specific way, which is then cropped again and processed in a different way, generating, once again, different and more precise results. The big challenge here that Pinterest is trying to overcome is precision, which is probably today the biggest flaw in most visual search engines. Now moving on to Kuznets. Kuznets is a Russian startup company which was founded in 2011. The company is very prominent in internal development. It's in terms of scale, it's much smaller than Pinterest. It's a startup which started sustaining growth around the period of 2015, but before that has been working very hard on developing patent-protected visual search applications, on innovative technology developments. They offer purchasable solutions compared to Pinterest, which simply uses visual search as a way to amplify the features of their ideation platform. Kuznets actually internally developed visual search solutions and sells those as licenses to target customers. Their visual search capabilities are very efficient. This is because they followed this very complicated but thorough and efficient process of training. More detail on the technical details, once again, can be found on my papers. And they managed to develop this object detection engine, which is extremely precise and pretty impressive in terms of speed. Also in regard to the size of their team and the resources they had at the time. So they offer 4 different products which incorporate this technology. Shelf Match, which is basically an SKU recognition feature, which could be used for potential customers, people which arrange products in the store, keeps a lot of organization, or for even customers to simply be able to visually scan with their camera any codes which would give them nutritional information or any other information on the product. And Logo Tracker, which is basically a way for them to track and identify logos on videos or images. Their third feature is called Like This, which is high precision mobile product recognition for online retail. This works pretty similarly to some features we previously discussed on Pinterest. However, this seems that they are partnered up with specific online retailers, and compared to Pinterest, they don't have the same reach and size of database. Idletext is a content filtering service that detects sexual or violent content and visual content. This is where their object recognition engine is put to work the best, and this is the product that draws the most traction for the company. Now, the third company we are studying is LogoGrab, which is an American startup company founded in 2014, which is an image recognition technology provider, which is focused on logo detection. So, like Kuznets, they have a logo tracker feature. However, this is their focus, and this company is actually the leader in the industry of logo detection. The API launched only in 2017, but sustained a lot of profitability, and have already secured a lot of partnerships with huge companies, huge brands, which makes it very difficult for any potential other logo tracker to undergo competition with them. Basically, the company sells user-friendly products and easily integrated APIs. This is their business model. So we have two products, both which are usually sold to companies, but which allow interaction for these companies with their customers. The first product is called Mobile Engagement. It represents a minority use and implication of the company. However, it's still there, and it's very attractive to some companies, some industries. It's for brands or sales industries that can connect their products and assets to mobile devices. So we have an illustration here of an example of McDonald's giving out a physical product, a coffee from their brick and mortar store, but which does have a code which could be connected through visual search onto a mobile device, which then is linked to a platform and interacts with the customer by either giving them an offer or a message. It's a great way to promote new products or enhance marketing. Their second product is their Brand Detection API. Which an API is an application programming interface, and it's basically some kind of software that you buy and integrate on your own hardware and apply it to your own business model. This API represents 95% of the company's activities. It's what they're focused on, and it basically focuses on the detection of logos online on either images, videos, any visual content, and reports statistics and or data regarding the brand and brand presence. It's very useful for companies. It's a very cheap way for companies to market and monitor their marketing strategies. So in conclusion, visual search is very prominent, sure, in the field of search. It's increasingly popular. However, what I didn't mention is that it's mostly used on either specific platforms or in very specific conditions. It does have very promising commercial applications, but I do not believe it will alienate keyword or voice search in the near future. But I believe that they will act in the future as great complements. Pinterest, Kuznets, and LogoGrab are three companies dealing with the field of visual search very differently and in a competitive way. As we have seen, Pinterest rather integrates it to their already successful browsing ideation platform, whereas Kuznets and LogoGrab have a business model which revolves more around the sale or licensing of actual software and products, which is more precise on applications of visual search. We have also seen by the product range that visual search has a lot of potential commercial applications, from security to brand detection to marketing monitoring, etc., etc. And despite Pinterest, of course, being the leader in the field, Kuznets and LogoGrab are showing some very promising qualities and capabilities especially thinking that they acted on very different budgets that Pinterest did. It is very important to monitor the evolution of different use cases and applications of this technology. As for anyone which would imagine a future career in marketing or in sales, it would be very useful to gather tools and automatisms in order to exploit visual search in a very optimal way from a commercial point of view. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me. I hope you found this presentation interesting. And you may also read my paper if you are searching for more detail, more structured information, and more precise details on the technological implications. Thank you very much.